Here we are, Powerhouse Smart colleagues, friends. I'm so thrilled that you're here. Another wonderful episode of the Powerhouse Cool Collabs Podcast, where I get to select from my sphere of influence, which I'm so thrilled keeps growing, the coolest leaders who I believe, really understand and have a like-minded attitude of collaboration. And they also live with an attitude of gratitude and they love giving back and helping humanity, which is really what we're all about here. So today, I'm so excited. My guest is Tina Timm. We've known each other for a really long time, but we kind of, just like life, things happen, and we just got more reacquainted. And she's in a really cool position that I'm going to share with all of you. So without further ado, this is short, it's commutable, but it's impactful, and I'm so excited. Tina, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you. It's so good to see you again.
You too. You
So
too.
good to see you
I
again.
love your backdrop. So you're going to be sharing about that. But yeah, tell us about your story and what you're doing recently and enlighten our
Absolutely.
audience.
Absolutely. Happy to. Happy to. So I am Tina Timm. I am the Builder Development Manager for Water Doctors. A new role, new little career change for me. I came from the building industry doing estimating and contract writing and all the things, design. I've done a lot of things in my 35 plus years career. And I'm learning about all things water. And so I like to consider myself to be a water quality advocate. So I help homeowners love their water and I help builders avoid any water complaints after closing. Those are my two main roles. So I service all of our builder accounts and really educate people on their water and why it's important and why we are such big advocates for water quality. Being a cancer patient, which I will share, now I'm not a patient anymore, Wendy. I'm a survivor. I'm no longer a patient. Thank you. It's very important to me, water, because it's going into so many things that your body touches, and it's inside, it's on you, it's in your plumbing, it's in your appliances, it's touching everything in your home. And there's a couple different places that you can go even to look at the water quality in your own area. It's a website called ewg.org, environmental working group.org /tap water, and you type in your zip code, you click on your area or wherever your utilities are, and it'll tell you what's in your water. I actually just went to Hartford is where I am, Wisconsin. I went this morning to look just to kind of make sure I understood it and how to navigate people. Sorry, I'm on a busy street.
Yeah, so that's siren. Excuse me for 1 second, Tina. That siren is telling us how important this conversation is. That's what that siren's telling us.
Nice energy. I love that. So I went on and I looked at what's in my water, even though I don't need to worry about it. I have our products in reverse osmosis and things in my home, of course. But what's interesting to me, hexavalent chromium, and 10 times the recommended level in Hartford of hexavalent chromium. And why that stuck out to me, I'm a big Aaron Brockovich fan, and that was from all of us old people who remember this movie and all the exposure that Julia Roberts did with this. That particular contaminant is in our water right here in Hartford, Wisconsin. So it's kind of crazy when I think about that. These are cancer-causing contaminants. You can't see them, you can't smell them, you can't taste them, you don't know that they're there. And the only thing that can get some of these contaminants out like that one is reverse osmosis. So that website is open to everybody. I believe it's nationwide. You go in and just put in your zip code and it tells you everything you need to know, which I found, just fascinating.
Well, I'm definitely going to make sure, how I always after our podcast is done and I put together a summary, I always have all the links of how our guests can reach you. I will make sure to add that link in there because that is fascinating and news to me. So Tina, so much to unravel here. And so let me start with, I met you, you were always in the builder world like me. You had your builder hat on. And did you always kind of have that geeky scientific side of understanding about water, or how did you, if you didn't, how did you get inspired by that?
I'm chuckling because did you just call me a geek on your podcast? I kind of am a nerd. I will fully admit it. I'm a spreadsheet nerd. I'm a math nerd, and now I'm a water nerd. Fully admit that.
I love that.
I've known the owners of Water Doctors, John and Amber Atlee, for many years. And they have wanted to bring me on for a while, and we just never could figure out what made sense and the timing and whatnot. And it just kind of made sense to finally make that move. And I have learned even in the last few months, just being in this new role, so much more about water that I thought I knew that I didn't know. I've been in this industry my entire life. I'm like, wait, what? Wait, what do you mean? That when you go through the car wash, spot-free rinse is reverse osmosis water. What? Yeah, I had no idea. Just little nuggets that I'm learning along the way that are just fun. And I love to learn and I love to challenge myself and step outside my comfort zone. And girl, I am way outside my comfort zone with this, which is helping me grow, which is great.
That's what we're all about. So that's really interesting. So that the current owners, and actually I love the name of the company and everything, and maybe we could talk about that for a second, but the current owners knew you and followed you and knew that you were just that kind of people person that was perfect. And
Yeah.
then they inspired you by teaching you, and you're still learning, and we all are learning every day. I don't care if
Yeah.
I'm 90 or 100, God willing, I'm still here and learning.
100%.
Yeah. So, now that are you new to Hartford? You said you're in Hartford, Wisconsin. Are you new to that
I
area?
am new to Hartford. I bought an old Victorian in October. I love her. She's
Okay.
amazing. And semi-restored. I'm doing some more things. Being in the industry, about a week in from moving, I tore down a wall, so that was fun. So I was living like a hoarder, if you will, for a little while, trying to get that all squared away. But I'm on the tail end of that. So, yeah.
So are you recommending, like you moved to Hartford, are you recommending that people check their community and they can actually find where the water is piped from, like if it's like Michigan or where it's coming and how that are you recommending? Is that something you had ever done in the past?
That is not something I've ever done in the past, and I'm learning about aquifers and how they change underground. We don't really know what's going on. Where we can test a house with a well, for example, and the iron actually is okay. Not every house with a well needs an iron filter. That's another piece that I did not know. You don't need to do that. It's not necessary for every house. Now, most of them, yes, there's going to be iron and sulfur in their water, but sometimes there isn't. But then that can change. A year later, when new development or new houses go up, that aquifer can shift. Underground, you have new excavation and things, and it's disrupting everything going on underneath. That can change. So then you might be like, hey, you tested my water a year ago. Now all of a sudden my hair is turning orange. Well, what's going on? The aquifer changed. There's sulfur and iron, seeping into your system. So.
Okay, so the company is called, tell me again the name of your company. The
Water Doctors. So it's
Water
h2o.com is our website. Yeah. Water Doctors.
HGO. Okay, awesome. So the Water Doctors. So now that I'm so excited and intrigued about this, and of course we want to turn this on to all of our builders, architects, and interior designers, and our consumers, and we're all consumers. Yeah. You said something that was very interesting. You do a water test. So what exactly is that? Please share.
So for every house that we do a plumbing audit and a water test. The plumbing audit consists of an actual count of all of the water sources in your home. So we would go through every bathroom, every laundry, everywhere there's water coming in. We'll take documentation of what that is. And then we calculate flow rates based on what's coming in. If you have what we like to call a human car wash, the showers with the body sprays and everything in it, that's going to cause a higher flow rate. So what happens when I say that we help builders avoid problems after closing, it happens more often than not that a builder will be like, they're going to call from a homeowner because their body shower number one and body shower number two people are showering. There's no flow. There's no pressure. That's because it wasn't maybe sized properly for the house. Possibly, that could be it. And that is something that we avoid, early on. And in terms of the test, it's this little fancy little digital lab that I get to use because I'm a nerd at heart. So I get to take a little water sample and I get to stick it in this little thing and I get to do this little digital test. And it tells me everything from hardness, chlorine, iron, alkalinity, all kinds of different things that we need to know to size the house properly and make sure the right equipment is going into the home to make sure that we're getting rid of almost all of the contaminants that are affecting their water.
Right. And so are builders really recognizing how important this is in their marketing and actually just even their integrity in building for their clients the way they would build
Yes.
for their own family?
Yes. More and more builders are recognizing that this is a category that they are lack of a better way to put it, falling short on. I would put structured wiring in that same category where builders, a lot of builders don't realize, roughing things in or getting things in the early stages before insulation, before rock goes in, pulling these RO lines, even if we're not going to do it right away, let's pull the rough lines. So when you're ready, we don't have to rip out drywall to get to it. So it's becoming more of an awareness, and that's a big part of my role is I get to educate builders and talk to people and explain why this is important and treat their customers as if they were, our mothers. I would not put anything in anybody's home that I wouldn't put in my own. We're very, very customer oriented and take care of the customer first. Customer, you take care of your customer. Customer takes care of the business will take care of you.
So I think that's exciting. Like you have a whole new, and maybe it isn't new. I mean, I remember being a builder and we did talk about reverse osmosis, but I think there's such a stronger awareness of health and wellness today. And
Yes.
you are the perfect person to be able to share this, and you have such a deep sphere of influence anyway in the industry. So it's great that you're reaching out to builders and architects and designers. What about those of us who are on this call that are already in their residence, and it could be a high rise or it could be a single family, and we want to know how to make our homes water tested, number one, and then if necessary, treat it so that it's as healthy as it can be.
Yes, of course. We have another division. Wayne in our office actually is on the retail side of things and the existing homeowner side of things. So he would come out and do an audit, much like I would do for new construction, and see what's in your house and check out your equipment if you have any, and let you know if it's working or isn't working. Usually we get calls when equipment is maybe starting to fail. Sometimes the media beds just need to be changed. We aren't going to put equipment in your home that you don't need. If you have equipment from another supplier that's actually doing what it needs to be doing, maybe it just needs to be serviced. We're not going to sell you anything additional. We're going to tell you it's actually working pretty good, but it could be better if. So we'll go through and do that. So we have a whole other side, and all of that consultation is free. You can come out to the house and do a free audit, free water test at no charge to you whatsoever, and give you your honest options of what you need.
Well, there you go. Giving back to help humanity right there. That's amazing.
Great.
So I have a quick question. Now, I noticed because I have in my new property, and I'm on the west coast of California for that property, that we do have reverse osmosis, and the water when I shower feels so different than my previous residence. But what I wanted to ask you is when you do the instant hot and instant cold water at your kitchen sink or your refrigerator, do you have to put a separate system in or how does that work for drinking water?
So the system that's coming into your shower, and I can touch on that while you're feeling a difference in two different locations if you like. But the system that's coming into your kitchen is drinking water. There's a whole different system and a whole separate dedicated line for the reverse osmosis.
Interesting. Wow. And cooking too, obviously, same difference. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Wow. So much to learn. And I know we don't have enough time in a commutable podcast to learn all those details, which is why it's going to be very important for those of you who are on this call, especially those of us who want to be educated so we can educate our clients, to go ahead and click all those links below and learn more about how to connect up with Tina and how to learn, what we need to know as industry professionals. So, are you only in Wisconsin, or what's your territory, Tina? The water.
So, me personally, my territory goes to the Sheboygan border, to Madison, and to the Illinois border, and a little bit beyond. We can go into Illinois. It just becomes with plumbing regulations and licensing. We right now our plumbers are in-house and they're Wisconsin licensed plumbers. So we have affiliations in Illinois that we would have to connect with to get that to be done.
So there is like an association so that you could say to someone who calls you from, say, New York, who's listening to this, here is who I recommend as part of our.
Yes, we can connect you. We're a Connecticut dealer, and Connecticut is a nationwide #1 reverse osmosis system, third-party certified to get out more contaminants than any other reverse osmosis system out there. So yes, we have affiliations all over. John is actually the president of the Water Council, so that is also a big. He's very, very active with NAHB and the WBA and all of the different associations advocating for water quality.
Wow, I'm just so impressed, Tina. You know, you were
Oh,
always a deep soul, and now I'm just learning now that you came across and now you're a in recovery, a cancer patient. First of all,
survivor.
s- thank you. That's a
Yeah,
huge
yeah,
differential. Yes, a survivor.
it
So
is.
I am so sorry I did not know that you were, but maybe you can share some health and wellness tips with our audience here because you are a survivor and you will be here.
I would be more than happy to, more than happy to. So on the theme of the podcast, I actually, when I went through, I had breast cancer in 2019, and I promised myself if I got through it, that I would give back in some way, shape, or form. I didn't know how. I didn't know how, what, where, why, but I promised I would. Another colleague of mine in the building industry mentioned this organization in a B2B group several years ago. And he also is a cancer survivor. And I am proud to announce that they, through conversations and whatnot, asked me to be on the board in July of last summer. And as of recently, it hasn't been officially announced. It will be shortly. I'm actually now on the board of directors as secretary, and this colleague of mine is our chair. So, so many great things. This organization is called This Time Tomorrow Foundation. So, This Time Tomorrow raises money for all things cancer, any type of cancer. You can go in and nominate a loved one, and our RAC committee, our Random Act of Kindness committee, will go in and review the nomination. And what we do is we deliver random acts of kindness to people currently fighting cancer in financial need. And you get a check, a surprise check. That's an important piece. We like to surprise our recipients with a $5,000 check. We raise over $500,000 a year. Our goal is 750, and we hope to reach over $1 million in the coming years.
That is absolutely just, it's the most incredible thing. And I'm so honored to be able
Yeah,
to help
yeah.
share this with everyone. And you know that we always want to be affiliated. You know, we're a business community at Powerhouse Smart. That's my side shuffle. We always want to find out about new nonprofits. We want to promote their causes besides you know, you as a wonderful professional and being able to collaborate with all of us. I'm going to have to find out more, and maybe we can do something in your Wisconsin territory to help promote that, some kind of business event. Maybe we'll
Oh, I
do,
would love that.
yeah,
I would
yeah,
love that.
maybe,
And we're not just Wisconsin based. It is a nationwide organization. Most of the recipients do come out of Wisconsin. We're, based out of Wisconsin, but we had actually, there was an event for an affiliate that did an event out in California for us. I believe it was California or Florida. I think it was California for St. Patty's Day. They did a great big event just for our foundation. It's a phenomenal organization celebrating 25 years this year of being a foundation, and it's incredible. There's all kinds of events coming up on our website and things that we do through the year to raise money, and it's a wonderful place to give back.
wow. So please, we'll add all that in the links below. So many wonderful synergies for us to do together. Maybe we can do a project tour where you're installing, where you tested the water. This is what happened, or it's a new construction project, and you can teach all the builders, architects, and designers. We can walk through it, do a tour, and then afterwards go and have maybe a raffle and a
I
charity
love
event.
that. That
Yeah.
is a brilliant idea. We just did we actually had one in the parade this year. It's a new builder of ours that came to us with some really, I always say it wrong. Is it Miele or Mila?
Millet. Millet.
Miele, thank you. I always say it wrong. They had a Miele coffee station. They had steam oven, water bottle filler. They had all these higher end big appliances in this home, and we actually had to bump some of their components up to commercial equipment because of the load that was coming in, because we calculated flow rates from 2 body showers and things like that. Like, ooh, yeah, the residential stuff's not going to cut it. We need to bump you up. um, and if that wasn't done, the homeowners that bought this house would have been undersized for their house.
Wow, so that would have been an example of a great, so put me on your radar for another, either a parade home or a tour home or even just a homeowner or a spec home that, we want to share all the people that worked on it, all the really interesting health and wellness aspects, of course, everything that Water Doctors is doing. And, this is really important that we need to keep using our beautiful community to keep spreading the word and raising all humanity, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
And
agreed, agreed.
so thrilled that you and I got reconnected. I love LinkedIn. Love that baby.
Love LinkedIn.
Yes.
Yes.
And I
Yeah.
love that you're just one of the coolest leaders, giving back, living with an attitude of gratitude. And I'm so proud and happy to have you in my business life. Thank you, Tina Timm. You are quite a soul.
Thank you, Wendy. Thank you. I might tear up a little bit. Thank you very much. I appreciate all that.
No, not at all. So I end with one last question, and I'll give you a minute to be thoughtful about it. But what advice would you give, or definition would you give to our audience of a well-lived life?
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna tell hopefully I'm not gonna botch this story, but I think this will fit. I also am on a Women in Construction board, and we hold a BuildX conference every March for over 350 ladies that come from Madison, Milwaukee, and surrounding areas. And our keynote speaker, phenomenal this year, and she played this little video, and it was the coolest takeaway or one of the many takeaways, but this was my favorite one, where you have two kids that just happen to be covered in horse poop. Okay, one is super excited, one is super sad, and they go to the kid that's sad. If you haven't heard this before, it's a cute little story. um, why are you sad? Why are you angry? He's like, well, I'm covered in horse poop. Why wouldn't I be angry? And then you go to the other one who's super happy and excited, and they're like, why are you so excited? You're covered in horse poop. And he goes, it's got to be a pony around here somewhere. So my advice, look for the pony. In every situation, when life dumps on you, look for the pony.
I got the chills all up and down my body.
Yeah.
That is beautiful. That's beautiful. The title of this podcast might be
Yeah.
"Look for the Pony." No, it'll be fun.
I love that. Isn't that a cute story? That is just the cutest story. I just love that. So
I think
rather
it,
than cup half full, now I'm looking for the pony.
I
So
think that's great, and we'll have to
yeah.
have a pink pony, of course, maybe even a unicorn.
Oh, of course.
All right, Tina, thank you again. I'm so excited to see you very soon at the next Powerhouse Smart event. Thank you for being a part of the podcast. I'm looking forward to
You're welcome.
sharing this and getting more excitement and more everything to everyone. So thank you.
That's
Love
right.
you.
Water is life. Thank you.
Yes,
Thanks,
thank
Wendy.
you. All right.
Bye.